lot of drivers are used to getting a reminder from the state when it's time to renew their car registration. The same goes for the tens of thousands who need emissions tests. But when MVD quietly changed those reminders late last year, thousands of drivers didn't get the message. Instead, they got fined, and it's still happening to some. On special assignment, News 13's Chris McKee questioned the state about the mess it created.
A lot of Albuquerque drivers can relate.
Right, of course.
To Sandy Olgren.
Just the freedom to move around, I think, is the important part.
She needs a car.
I'm retired from education, but I have a lot of activities going on.
But she's also been through the ringer with the New Mexico Motor Vehicle Division over that special emissions test that Bernalillo County drivers need.
What would you tell the state?
Get your act together.
Sandy has always followed the rules.
Always.
Registering her car and
There we go.
getting her emissions checked. State law requires most cars registered in Bernalillo County to get an emissions test every 2 years. And that wasn't a problem for Sandy.
Yes, I was very surprised.
Until recently.
It made me angry and frustrated.
Sandy is one of thousands of car owners who the state has fined for overdue emissions tests they never knew about.
It felt like a scam to ask me for $30 for something I felt wasn't my mistake.
A retired teacher who stays on her bills, Sandy's car registration was suspended in February, just weeks after she renewed it.
And of course, the first thing you do is think, what did I do wrong?
She paid the fee, MVD took her money, and Sandy even got new stickers for her license plate.
So I just thought everything was fine.
But in a recent email, the New Mexico Motor Vehicle Division told Sandy they were suspending her car registration because she failed to get an emissions test. To drive her car again, MVD not only wanted proof of a new emissions test, they also wanted an extra $30.
Which I guess is the part that angered me the most.
MVD claimed it warned Sandy about her expiring emissions test through a letter or an email they sent her in late January. But that's the problem.
Do you think you ever got one of those?
No, absolutely not.
Sandy says she never got that reminder. Without a notice, Sandy didn't know her test was expiring.
In the past, you've always received a notice, and I've always paid attention to it.
And it's not just Sandy's problem. In the last 5 months, MVD suspended and reinstated more than 3,643 registrations after drivers failed to get emissions tests because they weren't notified. More than 1,000 people have paid a $30 fee.
Now, most drivers are used to getting emissions reminders during their car registration, and for years the state sent out these postcards which also had reminders about emissions tests, but that all changed last year.
In September, without telling anyone, MVD removed the emissions test reminder from car registration postcards and started sending those separate emissions letters to people.
It drives me nuts. It really does. Fast test emissions.
Emissions test shop owner Greg Howland has gotten an earful from hundreds of customers who say they never got an emissions notification.
They were used to seeing, emission tests required, and they're not seeing it anymore, so they're ignoring it.
Howland also had no idea the change was coming.
Because you always want to make it simple. You don't want to make it complicated, and that's what they've done.
So we asked MVD about it. Spokesman Ben Cloutier says the change is an effort to give a more accurate notice to drivers about when their emissions tests expire.
It would make more sense to allow for that reminder to go out about a month before your emissions rather than getting it with your registration renewal reminder, because they don't necessarily line up.
Now serving.
MVD also didn't think it needed to tell the public about the switch either.
Well, since they're getting both notices by mail, it seems that there wouldn't be much of a difference.
But the difference was that the new system didn't work. MVD says some emissions notices weren't sent at all. They claim the problem has been solved.
It has been fixed as of early January.
But try telling that to Sandy. MVD suspended her registration for expired emissions on February 21st. Her emissions notice should have hit her mailbox around January 20th.
There was nothing that came.
While MVD says it's sorry for any problems they've caused, they also have tried to shift the ultimate blame onto drivers to keep track of their own tests. In multiple emails, MVD told us emissions reminders are a, quote, courtesy and not a requirement.
that is something that we do to try to help our customers.
But that's not exactly what the state's emissions program rules say. Written in New Mexico's administrative code is language requiring MVD to send emissions notices. Quote, the MVD shall distribute notices or other appropriate information to owners of vehicles applying for re-registration. We showed it to MVD.
You seem to be saying that this was a courtesy. Isn't this the rules?
In reviewing our findings, Cloutier agreed.
Well, according to this, we are supposed to be sending them out, and we are. So that is good news. And I may have been misinformed if that was not the case.
MVD says it will keep sending emissions reminders, and it's still giving out refunds to drivers who've paid any penalty fees because of the issue.
Feel free to come into an office or call us, and we'll make sure to take care of you.
But for drivers like Sandy, they wish MVD had taken care to begin with.
It's time consuming, and I'm not at the end of it yet.
On special assignment, Chris McKee, KRQE News 13.
MVD says with its new computer system, there should be automatic alerts online and at service centers about emissions tests. Open the KRQE News app now for more information on what you should do if you've been affected by the emissions notification problem.